It's 11 at night. You're sitting in front of a glowing screen, alone. Your finger is hovering over a button. The button says buy. The amount is $100, money you worked for, money you can feel in your chest, and your heart is beating like you're standing at the edge of something high, looking down. You press it, or you don't. Either way, something just happened. You felt it. Now picture a different room. A man your age. Same fear, once, years ago. Tonight he moves capital you can barely imagine, before his coffee gets cold, and he feels nothing at all. Same market, same game. The only thing that ever separated you from him was this. He knew there were levels, and he knew exactly which one he was standing on. By the end of this video, you'll know all 8, and you'll know exactly where you are right now, because investing was never one skill. It's 8 completely different games, and the rules change at every single level. Level 1. The Saver. This is where almost everyone starts, and where far too many people stay. You've done the hard part. You earn. You spend less than you make. There's a little pile of money sitting in your account, and it feels safe, solid, yours. Here's what nobody tells you. That money isn't sitting still. It's bleeding, quietly. Every year, prices rise, and the cash in your account buys a little less than it did the year before. You're not standing still. You're walking backward in slow motion. And the floor is so smooth, you can't feel yourself sliding. The saver believes safety is the absence of risk. But doing nothing is a risk. It's just one with no alarm bell. The day you understand that, something changes in you. The fear of losing money gets replaced by a sharper one. The fear of watching it disappear by doing nothing at all. And that fear is the first step. Because the moment you decide to put that money to work, you leave the ground floor. You walk toward the second level, the one where everyone's hands shake. Level 2. The first move. You open the app. You find something to buy. Maybe it's a single share of a company you believe in. Maybe it's an index fund, a basket holding pieces of hundreds of businesses at once. Your finger hovers. We're back at that button. This is the level where you stop being a person that money happens to, and you become a person who moves money. It's small. It might be $10, 50, 100. The number doesn't matter. What matters is the line you just crossed. Most people overthink this level for years. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect stock, the perfect amount of knowledge. The truth is colder and kinder than that. You learn by owning. The first share teaches you more than 100 hours of reading, because now you have something real on the line, and suddenly you actually care. But here's the trap. One purchase isn't investing. It's a moment, a spark. People buy once, watch it dip, get scared, and never come back. They mistake a single brave decision for a strategy. And what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't isn't bravery at all. It's what they do next, on the level almost nobody talks about, because it's the most boring one of all. Level 3. Consistency. This is the quietest level, and it's where the real money is made. Not through genius, through repetition. Every month, no matter what the headlines say, you buy. The market is up, you buy. The market is crashing, everyone's panicking. The news is screaming, you buy anyway. You buy the same amount, on the same day, like a heartbeat. This has a name, dollar cost averaging, and it does something almost magical. When prices are high, your money buys less. When prices are low, your money buys more. You automatically buy more of what's on sale without ever having to be smart about timing. This is the level where most people fall off the climb, not because it's hard, because it's boring. There's no thrill here, no story to tell at dinner, just showing up, month after month, while nothing seems to happen. They quit. They chase something exciting. They look for the shortcut, and the ones who stay, the ones who keep stacking quietly while everyone else gives up, they unlock a force the others will never feel. A force that's been sleeping inside their account this whole time, waiting for one thing: time. Level 4. Diversification. By now you've been consistent for a while. Your money is growing, and with growth comes a new fear. The fear of losing what you've built. This is the level where you stop betting on one horse. You learned a hard lesson somewhere, maybe by watching a stock you loved fall apart, maybe just by getting older and wiser. So you spread your money out. Different companies, different industries, different countries, different types of assets entirely, so that when one thing falls, and something always falls, the others hold you up. Diversification isn't about getting rich faster. It's about not getting wiped out. It's the seatbelt. It's what keeps you in the game long enough for the real magic to happen. Because the investor who swings for everything and loses it all never gets to see what patience builds. They go back to the beginning with nothing. Older and more afraid. But protecting your money and growing your money are two different things. A seatbelt keeps you alive. It doesn't move the car, and at the next level, for the first time, you feel the engine. You feel the thing every wealthy person eventually learns to worship. Level 5. The force. This is the turning point of the entire climb. Everything before this was you pushing a boulder up a hill. This is the moment the hill flattens out and the boulder starts rolling on its own. Compound interest, you've heard the words. Almost no one feels what they mean. Here's the truth. Your money earns money, and then that new money earns money too. And then that earns money. It builds on itself, faster and faster, in a curve that looks almost flat for years, and then suddenly bends toward the sky. For a long time, it feels like nothing is happening. You put in more than you make back. You wonder if it's even worth it, and then one day, you look, and your money earned more this year than you added. The machine is now doing more work than you are. That's the line. That's the moment you cross from working for money to having money work for you. Up until now, you were feeding the machine. From here on, the machine starts feeding you. And once you've truly felt that, your whole mind changes. You stop asking, how much can I save? You start asking a much more dangerous question. Where should this money go? Level 6. The allocator. Something shifts at this level, and it's not in your account, it's in your head. You stop thinking like a saver and start thinking like an owner. Saving was about subtraction. How little can I live on? Allocating is about direction. You have real capital now, and every dollar is a tiny worker waiting for orders. So you send them out, some into the stock market, yes. But now you see other doors. A rental property that pays you every month while you sleep, a stake in a small business, a loan to someone who pays you back with interest. You're no longer just buying pieces of the market. You're deciding where money flows. This is where people start to feel genuinely free. The income from what you own starts to rival the income from what you do. For the first time, you can imagine a life where you don't need the job. Not because you're rich beyond reason, but because your money has quietly started carrying its own weight. But even here, you're still buying what everyone else is allowed to buy. You're shopping in the same store as the rest of the world. And there's a door in that store most people walk past every single day without ever knowing it exists. At the next level, someone finally hands you the key. Level 7. Access. There's a world of investing that never shows up on your app. It's not hidden because it's illegal. It's hidden because it's not for everyone. The biggest opportunities, the ones with the highest returns, often happen before the public ever hears about them. A company gets funded years before you could ever buy a share. A real estate deal gets carved up among a handful of people in a room. A fund opens that only accepts people who already have serious money. By the time these things reach the public, the easiest gains are already gone, collected by the people who got in early. This level isn't really about money anymore. It's about access, and access is bought with two things: capital and relationships. You get invited to the table because you have something to bring to it, and because someone in that room trusts you. This is the level where who you know stops being a saying and starts being a strategy, where a single conversation can be worth more than a year of saving. And yet, even here, with a seat at the private table, you're still a player in someone else's game. You're putting your money into structures other people built. The final level isn't about playing the game better than everyone else. It's about something almost no one ever reaches. It's about becoming the game itself. Level 8. The owner. At the top, the rules invert completely. Everything you learn to climb here, you start to unlearn. The investor at this level doesn't pick stocks. He doesn't chase deals. He builds the structures that everyone below him invests into. He controls businesses he doesn't fully own. He moves capital that isn't entirely his, using other people's money, leverage, and trust to make things happen at a scale a single person never could. He's not trying to find a seat at the table anymore. He builds the table. He decides who gets to sit. Ownership at this level isn't about holding things. It's about control. The most powerful people in finance often own a surprisingly small slice of what they command. What they have instead is the power to decide where enormous rivers of money flow. They're not in the game. They are the ground the game is played on. And here's the strange part. The man who reaches this level, the one with more control than almost anyone alive, often feels something he hasn't felt since the very beginning. He looks at all of it: the structures, the capital, the power, and a quiet question rises up. The same question that's actually been hiding underneath every single level, the whole way up. What was all of this for? Here's the thing no one tells you when you start. The 8 levels were never really about money. Money was just the scoreboard. The levels were about you, about who you became as you climbed. The saver who learned to wait, the beginner who learned courage, the consistent one who learned patience, the diversified one who learned humility, the one who felt the force and learned to think in decades, the allocator, the insider, the owner, and at the very top, the prize isn't a bigger number. It's the moment money goes quiet, the moment the question stops being, "Will I make it?" and finally becomes something gentler. What is this for? Who is this for? What kind of life do I actually want to build with it? The truly wealthy aren't the ones with the most. They're the ones money has stopped shouting at, who have enough that they can stop counting and start living. That's the real top of the mountain. Not a vault, a kind of quiet. So let's go back to that screen. 11 at night. Your finger over the button. $100. That fear in your chest, look at it differently now. That wasn't weakness. That was level 1 of a game you didn't even know you'd already started playing. Every master of this game stood exactly where you're standing tonight. Same screen, same fear, same $100. The only question that matters is the one you can answer right now. Which level are you on? And are you ready to climb to the next one? If this gave you a map you didn't have before, subscribe and climb with us. There's a next level waiting, and a next story right behind this one. New stories from the other side, every day. I'll see you at the next level.